What is Waqf? Why was it created? What are the powers of Waqf Board? Explained. Waqf refers to the permanent dedication of movable or immovable property for the purposes enshrined in Islam. A property can become a waqf by donation through a deed or if it has been used for religious or charitable purposes. The government is set to table the controversial Waqf Amendment Bill, 2024 in Parliament today after it faced strong resistance from the opposition. While the centre believes the bill would improve the management of Waqf properties in India, the opposition has called it a targeted legislation. Waqf Amendment Bill Live updates. The Waqf Amendment Bill was introduced in the Lok Sabha on August 8, 2024. It aims to modify the Waqf Act 1995 and to address the challenges in the regulation and oversight of Waqf properties. Let us understand what Waqf means, why was the Waqf Board created and what are its powers. Nanan. The concept of Waqf refers to the permanent dedication of movable or immovable property for the purposes enshrined in Islam as pious, religious, or charitable. In India, properties such mosques, idgas, dargahs, khanqahs, imambaras, and qabristans graveyards, among others, fall under Waqf. A Waqf property is a permanent donation by a person professing Islam, of any movable or immovable property, for any purpose recognized by the Muslim law as pious, religious, or charitable, as per Waqf Act of 1954. The Waqf Act of 1995 was enacted to regulate Waqf assets donated and notified as Waqf by a waqf the person who dedicates a property for any purpose recognized by Muslim law as pious, religious, or charitable. Later, the said act was amended in 2013 by the UPA government. A property can become a waqf by donation through a deed or instrument, or if it has been used for religious or charitable purposes. A non-Muslim can also create a waqf if he professes Islam and the objective of creating the waqf has to be Islamic. Once a property is designated as a waqf, it becomes non-transferable and is detained perpetually as a charitable act towards God, essentially transferring ownership to God. Waqfs can be either public, serving charitable ends, or private, benefiting the property owner's direct descendants. A survey commissioner conducts a local investigation, which may include summoning witnesses and asking for public documents, after which he declares all properties as waqf under the 1995 Act. Nanan. Waqfs in India are regulated by the Waqf Act, 1995. A survey commissioner lists all properties declared as waqf by conducting local investigations, summoning witnesses, and requisitioning public documents. The waqf is managed by a mutawali, who acts as a supervisor. Unlike trusts established under the Indian Trusts Act, 1882, which can serve broader purposes and be dissolved by the board, waqfs are specifically for religious and charitable uses and are intended to be perpetual. A Waqf board has the legal authorization to acquire and hold property and also to transfer any such property. The current law allows every state to have a Waqf board headed by a chairperson, one or two nominees from the state government, Muslim mulays and MPs, Muslim members of the State Bar Council, recognized scholars of Islamic theology and mutawalis of any waqfs that has an annual income of Rs 1 lakh and above. The Waqf board has the power to administer the property and take measures for the recovery of lost properties and to sanction any transfer of immovable property of a waqf through sale, gift, mortgage, or lease. The board appoints custodians to ensure the waqf and its revenue are used for their designated purposes. The Central Waqf Council (CWC), established in 1964, oversees and advises state-level waqf boards across India. Nanan. Powers of Board. Waqf board cannot claim property unless the land that is recorded in the Revenue Department's records before partition. The board has to prove that those lands are actually waqf property. Section 40. As per Section 40 of the Waqf Act 1995 as amended in 2013, the State Waqf Board is empowered to decide any question which arises as to whether a particular property is a waqf property or not, or whether a waqf is a Sunni waqf or a Shia waqf. The board, after making an inquiry as it may deem fit, decides the case. The decision of the board on a question under the said provision shall, unless revoked or modified by the tribunal, be final. No judicial oversight. Waqf tribunal decisions cannot be appealed in higher courts, limiting transparency and accountability in waqf management. Pill in Supreme Court. BJP leader Ashwini Upadhyay filed a pill in the Supreme Court challenging the validity of Waqf Act 1995. He sought direction from court to center to bring in a uniform code for trustees, charities, charitable institutions and religious endowments. The Supreme Court in April 2023 refused to entertain Upadhyay's pill, stating that the constitutionality of a law passed by Parliament cannot be challenged in the abstract as a mere academic exercise. Incomplete survey of waqf properties. Poor performance by the Survey Commissioner has caused delays, with survey yet to begin in Gujarat, Uttarakhand, a 2014 survey in Uttar Pradesh. Nanan. The Waqf Act, 1995 was enacted by the government to improve the administration and management of waqf properties. It establishes the Central Waqf Council and State Waqf Boards, distributing powers between chief executive officers and waqf boards. The Act mandates the appointment of executive officers for underperforming waqfs with annual incomes exceeding Rs 5 lakh and regulates judicial proceedings related to waqfs. It oversees the powers, functions, and duties of mutawalis and makes the alienation of waqf property difficult. It also mandates surveys to identify waqf properties and strengthens financial management. Key provisions include the mandatory registration of all waqfs with the board, the maintenance of a central register of waqfs, the authority of waqf boards to appoint executive officers, the removal of encroachments from waqf properties, the preparation of annual budgets for Waqf maintenance, and the maintenance of records and inspection of Waqf properties. Nan.